Katharine Hepburn. Names: the 7 lesbian actress she hates most. Dated in secret with her, Katharine Hepburn was born on May 12, 1907, in Hartford, Connecticut, into a progressive and supportive family. Her mother was a suffragette, and her father a doctor who encouraged independence. From a young age, Hepburn was bold, athletic, and unapologetically herself. She studied at Bryn Mawr College and later pursued acting, quickly catching Hollywood's attention with her fierce intelligence and unique charisma. Hepburn made her film debut in A Bill of Divorcement, 1932, and won her first Oscar just a year later for Morning Glory. Known for her sharp wit, nonconformist spirit, and androgynous fashion, she broke the mold of what a Hollywood actress could be. Over 6 decades, she earned a record 4 Academy Awards, redefining female stardom with roles in classics like The African Queen and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Katharine Hepburn's unstoppable rise. After graduating from Bryn Mawr College in 1928 with a degree in history and philosophy, Katharine Hepburn set her sights on the stage. Despite initial struggles with stage fright and inconsistent reviews, she persisted. Her tall, striking appearance and distinct voice made her stand out, even when critics weren't sure what to make of her. She worked tirelessly in small theater productions, gradually building a reputation for her raw talent and fierce dedication. Her breakthrough came in 1932 with the Broadway play The Warrior's Husband, where her commanding performance caught the attention of Hollywood agents. Soon after, she was offered a contract with RKO Pictures, marking the start of her legendary film career. Hepburn's early journey was not easy, but her unshakable confidence and refusal to conform laid the foundation for a career that would transform Hollywood. Katharine Hepburn's breakthrough. Katharine Hepburn's life changed forever when she was cast in A Bill of Divorcement, 1932, opposite John Barrymore. It was her very first film role, but Hepburn delivered a performance so striking and emotionally nuanced that critics and audiences immediately took notice. Directed by George Cukor, who would become one of her closest collaborators, the film showcased her raw talent, magnetic presence, and refreshing naturalism, all of which defied the polished, scripted norms of early Hollywood. Hepburn's portrayal of a conflicted daughter navigating mental illness and family trauma was deeply human, drawing praise for its honesty and power. The film was a box office success and catapulted Hepburn to stardom overnight. At just 25 years old, she proved she wasn't just another pretty face. She was a serious actress with immense depth and fearless emotional range. This role marked the beginning of a legendary career and an enduring collaboration with Cukor that would span decades. It was clear Hollywood had found a new kind of leading lady: screen legends and secret love. As Katharine Hepburn's star continued to rise, one of the most defining chapters in both her career and personal life began with her partnership with actor Spencer Tracy. Their first film together, Woman of the Year, 1942, was a box office hit and launched one of the most iconic on-screen duos in Hollywood history. Over the next 25 years, Hepburn and Tracy starred in 9 films together, including Adam's Rib, 1949, Pat and Mike, 1952, and their final collaboration, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, 1967. Their chemistry on screen was electric, witty, warm, and deeply human. But it was their off-screen connection that captivated fans and insiders alike. Though Tracy was a devout Catholic and never divorced his wife, he and Hepburn maintained a discreet, deeply devoted relationship for over 2 decades. Hepburn later said she loved him unconditionally and cared for him in his final years as he struggled with illness and alcoholism, professionally. Their collaborations gave Hepburn the chance to explore complex, often combative female characters opposite Tracy's stoic charm. Together, they redefined what romantic partnerships looked like in film: smart, equal, and emotionally rich. Their final film, released just weeks after Tracy's death, was a poignant testament to their bond. It remains one of Hepburn's most celebrated performances. Katharine Hepburn's historic achievements. Katharine Hepburn's legacy is etched into the very fabric of American cinema, with a career that spanned over 6 decades. She earned a reputation not only as a brilliant actress, but as a cultural icon who redefined what it meant to be a woman in Hollywood. She holds the unmatched record of 4 Academy Awards for Best Actress, 1 for Morning Glory, 1933, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, 1967, The Lion in Winter, 1968, and On Golden Pond, 1981. Her 12 Oscar nominations remain a staggering testament to her consistent excellence and longevity. Beyond the Academy, Hepburn received countless honors, including an Emmy Award, multiple Golden Globe nominations, and the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Screen Actors Guild. In 1999, the American Film Institute named her the greatest female star of classic Hollywood cinema. Her bold choices, refusing to conform, wearing trousers, turning down publicity, helped pave the way for future generations of independent actresses. Hepburn also made a significant impact on Broadway and television, earning accolades in nearly every medium she worked in. Despite shunning the traditional trappings of fame, she earned the admiration of critics, peers, and fans alike. Her wit, intelligence, and unwavering authenticity made her more than a movie star. She became a timeless symbol of strength and individuality. Katharine Hepburn's triumphant final act. In an industry where youth is often prized above all else, Katharine Hepburn defied every expectation by delivering some of her most powerful performances in her later years, at a time when many actresses faded into obscurity. Hepburn soared. Her role in On Golden Pond, 1981, opposite Henry Fonda, was not only critically acclaimed but deeply personal, playing an aging, sharp-witted wife confronting mortality and love. She earned her 4th Academy Award for Best Actress at age 74. The film became a touching farewell to classic Hollywood and a tribute to Hepburn's enduring brilliance. Even into her 80s, she remained active. She took on roles in TV films such as The Corn is Green, 1979, and Love Among the Ruins, 1975, which won her an Emmy. Her last major performance came in One Christmas, 1994, showing that even in her twilight years, she hadn't lost her spark. Off-screen, she chose to live quietly in her beloved Connecticut home, far from Hollywood's glare. She never married after Spencer Tracy's death and often expressed that she had lived life on her own terms, fiercely independent to the end. Hepburn's late career success shattered age barriers and cemented her as a timeless figure. Not just in cinema, but in American culture itself. Katharine Hepburn's solitary path in love and family. Despite being one of the most iconic women in Hollywood, Katharine Hepburn lived a deeply private and unconventional personal life. She married once, briefly, to Ludlow Ogden Smith in 1928, a Philadelphia businessman. But their marriage lasted only 6 years, officially, and Hepburn admitted she never wanted to be a wife in the traditional sense. They divorced in 1934, and she never married again. Hepburn had no children, and though she cherished her extended family, especially her siblings and nieces and nephews, she often said she was too independent and focused on her career to raise a family. Instead, her most enduring relationship was with Spencer Tracy, a man she loved deeply for over 26 years. Despite knowing he would never leave his wife, she nursed him in secret through his final illness and mourned him privately after his death in 1967. Her views on marriage and motherhood were radical for her time. She once said, "I would have been a terrible mother because I'm too selfish. I like my independence." Hepburn chose freedom, art, and authenticity over traditional roles. And in doing so, she blazed a trail for generations of women to define life on their own terms. Buried Secrets: 7 Women Who Loved Katharine Hepburn. Throughout her life, Katharine Hepburn fiercely guarded her privacy. While her legendary love affair with Spencer Tracy was well known, a quieter and more mysterious part of her personal life has long intrigued biographers: her rumored relationships with women. Though Hepburn never publicly identified as lesbian or bisexual, several sources and close observers have suggested that she may have had romantic connections with women, especially in her younger years when Hollywood's studio system demanded strict secrecy. 1. Laura Harding, a New York socialite and close companion of Hepburn for over a decade. They lived together for several years, and Harding often accompanied Hepburn to events. Many believe theirs was more than a friendship. 2. Irene Selznick, the daughter of MGM mogul Louis B. Mayer and a prominent theater producer. Her deep emotional bond with Hepburn sparked speculation among Hollywood insiders. 3. Phyllis Wilborn, Hepburn's longtime personal secretary and confidant. She was by Hepburn's side for over 40 years, and some believe theirs was a deeply intimate, if unspoken, connection. 4. Hope Williams, a stage actress whom Hepburn admired and spent time with in the early years of her career. Their letters suggested deep affection. 5. Constance Collier, a British actress and acting coach who mentored Hepburn and was deeply influential in her early theatrical years. Their close bond was noted by many. 6. Nancy Hamilton, a playwright and documentary filmmaker known for her witty personality. Her closeness with Hepburn fueled rumors in literary circles. 7. Barbara Leeming, a biographer who spent years researching Hepburn and claimed the actress admitted to having loved women privately, though never in public. While none of these relationships were ever confirmed romantically, they paint a portrait of a woman who valued emotional intimacy and independence more than public approval. In a time when same-sex love was taboo, Hepburn may have found freedom in quiet connections, relationships that defied labels but shaped her deeply. The final years and peaceful farewell of Katharine Hepburn. In the final chapter of her life, Katharine Hepburn retreated from the public eye with the same strength and grace that had defined her for decades. Long removed from the flashbulbs of Hollywood, she found peace in her childhood home in Fenwick, Connecticut, a charming seaside residence filled with the echoes of a lifetime. It was there, far from the noise of the entertainment world, that Hepburn spent her last years, surrounded by nature, treasured memories, and the simplicity she had always cherished. Her health had begun to decline noticeably in her later years, marked by symptoms resembling Parkinson's disease, which affected her speech and movement. But while her physical strength faded, her mind remained razor sharp. Even into her 90s, she possessed the same fierce independence and quick wit that had captivated generations. She needed no spotlight to shine. Her presence alone radiated confidence, dignity, and quiet defiance. Unlike many stars of her magnitude, Hepburn had no interest in sympathy or spectacle. She embraced the aging process not with bitterness, but with realism and humor, often poking fun at herself and reflecting candidly on her past. She acknowledged her regrets, but never dwelled on them, always prioritizing the freedom and personal truth she had fought for throughout her life. Those lucky enough to visit her during those final years, family members, a few close friends, recall her as sharp-tongued, thoughtful, and unwavering in her principles. Katharine Hepburn passed away on June 29, 2003, at the age of 96, in the same home where she had experienced both the joy of childhood and the stillness of old age. Her death signified more than the loss of a legendary actress. It marked the end of a bold, trailblazing era in American cinema. True to form, Hepburn left clear instructions: no funeral, no public memorial, no dramatic tributes. She wanted to be remembered through the legacy of her work and the values she stood for: independence, courage, and unwavering authenticity, just as she had lived. Katharine Hepburn exited the world on her own terms, quietly, with elegance, and a spirit that refused to fade. Her light, though no longer visible, continues to shine through every story she told and every barrier she broke. The enduring legacy of Katharine Hepburn. Katharine Hepburn's legacy extends far beyond her 4 Academy Awards and iconic performances. She redefined what it meant to be a woman in Hollywood: independent, assertive, and unapologetically intelligent. At a time when actresses were often typecast or expected to conform to traditional ideals of femininity, Hepburn forged a new path. She wore trousers before it was acceptable, spoke her mind without fear, and chose roles that challenged social norms, from strong-willed women to vulnerable heroines. Her influence can be felt across generations of actresses, from Meryl Streep to Cate Blanchett, who credit Hepburn as a trailblazer who made it possible to embrace both strength and complexity on screen. Her filmography, including classics like The Philadelphia Story, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, and The African Queen, remains a gold standard of performance and character depth. Beyond the screen, Hepburn's legacy lies in her authenticity. She never bowed to public expectations, refused to compromise her values, and led a life that inspired others to live truthfully and boldly. Her contribution to the arts and to women's empowerment continues to resonate in culture, education, and gender discourse. In many ways, Katharine Hepburn didn't just act, she sparked a cultural shift. And though she has passed, her fearless spirit still echoes through every bold performance and every woman who dares to be different. Life lessons from Katharine Hepburn. Daring to be yourself. If there is one lasting lesson to take from Katharine Hepburn's extraordinary life, it is this: be unapologetically yourself. Throughout her decades in the spotlight, Hepburn never let fame, criticism, or tradition define her. She rejected the conventional roles society and Hollywood tried to impose on her, choosing instead to follow her own instincts, live by her own values, and speak her truth even when it was uncomfortable or unpopular. Hepburn taught the world that strength and vulnerability can coexist. She was fierce yet introspective, outspoken yet deeply private. Her life was not about chasing approval, but about embracing authenticity. She challenged gender norms not as a political act, but simply because she believed in living comfortably and honestly, whether it was wearing pants in a skirt-dominated era or openly questioning marriage as a necessary institution. One of her most enduring lessons lies in how she handled love and solitude. Despite a famously long relationship with Spencer Tracy, Hepburn never married him, respecting his personal situation and choosing quiet loyalty over public spectacle. She showed that love doesn't have to conform to rules. And when she was alone, she wasn't lonely. She was self-sufficient. She valued solitude as a space for reflection, not as a void to be feared. Another powerful message from her life is resilience. Hepburn endured rejection, personal heartbreak, career lulls, and physical ailments. But she never gave up, never played the victim, and never stopped evolving. She faced each stage of life with honesty, humor, and curiosity. Ultimately, Katharine Hepburn's greatest lesson is a call to courage, the courage to break the rules, the courage to think differently, the courage to live a full life on your own terms, boldly, gracefully, and without apology.